Good morning there, friends. I wanted to pop on real quick and give you all an update with the wildfire situation in western North Carolina, even upstate South Carolina, eastern Tennessee, as it has been quite the week here. So I've got a hot cup of coffee. The sun is coming up. Let's catch up. Now, first and foremost, I just want to thank you all for your prayer, for sharing the video. When I popped on earlier this week, so much is going on, and it was one of those where it was like, does anybody even know this is going on? Because this is just getting out of control, and it is so weird, and so many things I feel like are not normal anymore. And the situations we faced lately are certainly one of those. And so I thank you all so much for your prayers and just sharing and everything along with that. And thankfully, we did get some rain. It was kind of a little nerve-wracking because we had, earlier this week, we had over 7 wildfires burning, all within like an hour, hour and a half of Asheville. And practically no containment on any of them. And so that's a little much. And then we had rain forecasted, but it very quickly became severe outbreak of storms that was being forecasted. And so it was kind of one of those, we really, really need rain because, hello, wildfires literally everywhere. But we can't really handle severe storms right now. I know it's spring's here and that's happening, so like I know that's what's coming, but after Hurricane Helene, the damage we're still 6 months later dealing with, none of us out here need severe storms, okay? So it was one of those like, please Lord, send us rain. Please don't let it be anything too much more than that. So the first day, we got a little bit of rain, but genuinely just a little bit. Like it barely dampened the ground. So it really didn't help the fires that much at all. Luckily, we did get a little more rain. And so very thankful for what we got. It looks like, well, it's not like the fires are all out now. That's certainly not the case. So please continue praying and sharing and all of that because there are still more. But hold on, we'll talk about that in a second. It did help. And so there is more containment, there is, progress that has been made, which we are absolutely praising the Lord for, so thankful for, and continuing to pray for all of our emergency personnel that are working, in all of this. We have even volunteer firefighters from other states who have come in to help, and incredibly thankful for all of that. What I find is so heartbreaking, though, is, just kind of checking in with friends, reading y'all's comments that are here locally, down and everything. The ones that have broken my heart, I've heard of a couple. When Hurricane Helene came through western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, upstate South Carolina, when it hit up here in these sleepy little mountain towns, it devastated so much. I mean, and I love it because I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm going crazy after a while because I'm like, no, you don't understand. Good morning, donkeys. You don't understand. When I say it came through and wiped stuff out, I mean, there are areas, little valley areas where it mudslide everything out. Like there's nothing there. Like there used to be homes and life and everything else, and now there is absolutely nothing. And I mean, it doesn't even look like homes used to be there. It wiped stuff out so completely. And so the devastation was so extreme. And what I found so heartbreaking are their families that had their homes damaged in Hurricane Helene, who have been for 6 months now trying to rebuild their lives to some degree from that, and then lost their home in these fires. What? Like, that just breaks my heart. can't even fathom, I mean, our home, we're still dealing with cleanup, and we have so much rebuilding and stuff that has to somehow happen that I don't even know how it's going to happen. But, to have gone through that and then lose your home in a wildfire, that's just devastating. And leave me a comment. You can tell me what you think it is. And trust me, I've seen some comments, so I've heard lots and lots of different ideas. And I think there's lots of pieces of all of that. But what I loved is I even had somebody, they said, I believe they were 71 years old, lived out here their whole lives. The weather is so different than it used to be. Even in the 10 years since we've been where we are now, we don't get the snow in the winter like we used to. And it's not because it's not cold enough. I mean, sometimes it's definitely not as cold, but there's just no moisture. The rain we used to get, it just doesn't exist anymore. We go through these long stretches in the winter now of no precipitation at all, which is really, really strange for out here. And so we go for these long stretches, and you're like, wow, this is really weird. The past 4, maybe even 5 winters have been very odd, just very different, not like they ever were before. And then we hear stories from like those who have lived in the area their whole lives, and they talk about how every winter, the rivers used to freeze so solid you could ride across them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we're nowhere near that type of cold anymore. So you're seeing all these things that are different, but really what it is, and this is the scary part, because yes, thankful for the rain. Yes, it did help. Yes, that's all wonderful. But even our agriculture commissioner, with their release of like, yes, yay, we got rain, pray we have a chance of a little more rain this week, which again, nice moderate amounts would be very, very helpful. We don't need like massive downpour, but we need nice moderate amounts. Nearly 1 million acres, it's 800 and something thousand acres of forest was just destroyed with Hurricane Helene. So try to imagine this, if you will, out here in Western North Carolina. And if you live out here in the area, like, leave a comment. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, this is literally what you see. Out here, any of us who live out here, anybody who's been in the area, you can drive for 100 miles in pretty much any direction of Asheville. So if you kind of take Asheville as your starting point and go for 100 miles in any direction, you drive through destruction. 6 months later, you still, like, you're just driving through destruction. And when you see entire mountainsides where it looks like the trees, like a giant just like swiped his hand down it. The kids, they have those, I've seen it on shirts or even pillows where the sequins are tied to it. So like you push it down one way and it looks like one color, and then you push it up the other way and it looks like another color. Our mountains look like that, where it looks like somebody just pushed down a whole side, and all the trees, literally a mountain full of trees, they're just all broken and laying flat. And even the mountains that aren't completely laid out, we have it all over our property. You go to anybody's property out here, and there are trees down. There are trees compromised. We have a tree right here that literally 6 months after the hurricane, it finally just gave way and broke, and half of the tree is hanging up in another tree that we can't even get to, and then the rest is just laying on the ground. I mean, trees keep dropping all over the place. But now, you literally just have nearly 1 million acres of forested land that has like pre-dried kindling laying all over it, just ready to be ignited. Most of these fires have started because of downed power lines. When Helene came through, it ripped down power lines, again, for hundreds of miles in every, up, down, every direction you go. Power lines gone everywhere. The amount of power poles they were bringing in here after the hurricane, trying to get lines back up, I mean, it was crazy. It's like you live in a I don't know, it's almost like being at, I think of like the shipping docks in Southern California we used to go to, and you were like out there and you see these like massive piles of stuff that you're like, wow, like that's so much stuff. It felt like that with all the materials they were having to bring into Western North Carolina to like rebuild and get power going again. And so you have downed lines all over the place. So these power lines that run up and down mountains, and across everywhere to connect everything, now there's still just down lines. And yes, there have been crews working and cleaning up and doing stuff. Yes, but there is so much damage that even massive workforces for 6 months have hardly made a dent in it. We saw things where they've been requesting more funds for some of this stuff. Stuff's getting denied. Ain't nobody care about what's going on in North Carolina anymore. Everybody's moved on to bigger things. And you're like, no, but you see, the thing is we have nearly 1 million acres of messed up forest land coupled with no rain all winter long. And now it's just a fire waiting to happen. And so that's what's a little scary here with all of this, is reading the report from the agricultural commissioner. And he's talking about how, like, yes, we're thankful we got the rain. Yes, we're thankful that more rain is looking like it's in the forecast. We're not done with this. And we're probably not going to be done. I think he said this whole year is going to be definitely dicey. And that's what is scary, is we look at the changes in the weather. We look at the weird, sketchy stuff that keeps going on and popping up everywhere. You probably know what I'm talking about, because any of us who are paying attention, we see these things and we're like, what's happening? Why are we not talking about that? Why, that was the whole thing why we started talking about this in the first place. When Helene happened, and we were messaging family members going, hey, you probably saw, we're okay. And they're like, I watch the news all the time. I had no idea anything was wrong. What happened? And we're like, our town doesn't exist anymore is what happened. How do you not know that a massive hurricane just took out Western North Carolina? Like, it's gone. And we had family that, again, they watch the news frequently, and they were like, we haven't seen a thing about this. So then we started sending footage of what was going on, and they were stunned because mainstream media wasn't reporting on it. So it's this very odd thing of like, why do if you're telling me that nothing weird's going on out here, how come all these weird things keep happening and like nobody's talking about it? That's a little suspect to me, just saying. But the fires are going to continue, is the point of this. Yes, we're thankful for the rain we got. Yes, we're thankful that this week we have a chance of a little more rain. Hopefully it just is that. But this is going to be really worrisome, and it's going to be really worrisome for a while. And so absolutely keep praying for those, as they continue to fight these fires and get them, put out and keep them contained and all of that. But I have a feeling that this year especially, Western North Carolina is going to be, it's going to be interesting, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's not just the rebuilding process and the bureaucratic nonsense with funding and things like that. I don't know. I'm just saying that upstate South Carolina, Western North Carolina, up here to Eastern Tennessee, where we currently are right now, like, there's a lot of stuff brewing in these sleepy little mountain towns, and a lot of talk going around everywhere, and a lot of weird stuff that keeps happening. So thank the Lord that this world is not our home, and be it by death or rapture, right? I'm like, every day, Lord, just get us through, provide us what we need today, and let us serve you in whatever way we can, because I am so thankful that I know where I am going, and I know where my hope truly lies, because this world has certainly lost its marbles. So just a little update. Wanted to let you guys know. I know the fires, they're so scary. I mean, they're genuinely so scary. And we have friends that are so close to some of these, and it is really, really terrifying. So continued prayers for all of you who are close to that. Be sure you guys subscribe, turn on the bells. We're we're thinking we're gonna make some bold steps here on the channel here in the next little bit. So stay tuned for all of that. I think you'll like this video up here if you want to have a little something else to watch, maybe be a little encouragement for your day. And if you're wondering why on earth I am not at my house and I am in the mountains of eastern Tennessee, you guys can check out this video. I'll have it pop up somewhere right here. So that'll answer those questions for you. I will see you all right back here in the next one. Bye, friends.